Hello, and welcome to my settlement archive. Today we're taking a look at Nordhagen Beach, just across the way from the Prydwen, which is still in the sky in my playthrough. Now, the regular settlement itself I have left largely untouched, because I honestly didn't have anything interesting to do with it. But, over here I have something far more interesting, and in my opinion it's one of my favourite things that I've done in the entire game. Welcome to the Nordhagen Pier. Now this, I think, is one of my better builds. I think this is interesting, I think it looks good, and it's the kind of thing that I wish I did more in the other settlements, so it's kind of the energy I want to be taking into the next playthrough. Here we have the trader market area with the custom armor workbenches, chairs and whatnot for Crash Kankala, Doc Weathers, Lucas Miller and Cricket. Up here we have a little defense for the front gate, and, you know, obviously... sounds like something's going down over there. The main place that people could attack from is this way, so all defences are kind of facing this way. So we have a nice little sort of very ramshackle looking defence over here. Over here we have many shops, goods and services, general trader, weapons and armour, and these are all done with the thematic and practical shops, just to make them look more interesting. That's an interesting face. Here we have a little barber and surgeon stall, which I think looks quite nice, although I have to admit I would be absolutely horrified at a barber's if I had to look somebody else in the eye. That'd be terrible. Ma'am, are you alright? Here's a clothing shop with a nice little decorative area for some mannequins. That is being filled in with a foundation over top of it. However, it does appear to have taken somebody prisoner. Back here we have the Nordhagen pub. This is using a soda machine from Vault 88. Some nice diner benches. I think these sort of fit in really authentically. Oh, I think I stepped past this area. This is another guard post. This is a modded guard post. All mods will be in the description because I unfortunately just do not remember the names of them. And over here we have a little clinic. The Nordhagen pub itself is, again, using thematic and practical, but has a woods garage door to lock up shop for the night, and there is a fishing people's station here and here with some decor. Inside here we also probably have, yep, a brewmaster station, and I think this is quite good. I wish I'd done stuff like this more. This area seems decently well lived into me, despite not having the most extravagant like decor items, but the placement of the items I still think is rather good. Now, heading back to the start of the settlement, we can take the back route. All of the shops have back doors because there's this sort of walkway along here to get to the backs of all the shops. And, of course, the secret Brahmin. Hello, Fred. Hello, Marjorie. Now, the only of these... Yeah, you alright? You good? Do you work the clothing shop? You do? Okay. Do you? Oh, okay. Yeah, she does. Okay, interesting. Now, the only shop that I took one to get hold of was in here. We have... The doctor has their own room directly connected to their shop, which I think is rather unique in terms of shops go. These two shops are shared because armor and weapons often are. And now heading up top, we can sort of see the living accommodations. Now, seemingly here I used a lot more thematic and practical objects, which in some cases creates much more lived-in objects, so I'm glad that I did that. And a big thing for me here was avoiding anything too uniform. You may have already seen that I did a sort of similar structure to this in Vault 88, but it was far simpler. And while they remain largely undecorated... Oh, that's a bed. Okay. Except this room. This room is decorated, but it's also clearly odd, so I'm just going to close that. The main thing that I wanted to get across was that these buildings had unique shapes. So this area breaks out into a little walkway. This is an interesting, lovely room. Wouldn't feel safe in it, but this is a Wasteland mail service, I believe, from Northland diggers. Does this go anywhere? No. But this final room is a bit more of my sort of traditional bunk room. This is probably the last room that I built, so it's probably the bit where I realised I was running out of space to put beds, so I made one larger shared room. Oh, I didn't even notice this when I was giving the tour first. We have a lovely little staircase for here. Make it easier to get up here. Heading along the sort of large train car section. I really wish you could choose which way doors opened. We have another little bedroom. Again, I mean, the noise would be awful, but this is lovely. And another one here with 2 beds in it. And yeah, just... It wouldn't be nearly as bad the way I decorate bedrooms, namely, don't, if I didn't use the very cold, very military-esque beds, but they're what's efficient. There was also this little bedroom here. This is apparently an IKEA bed, that's funny. And finally, heading up here... Okay, so there are some issues with the doors in my settlement, but other than that, we have another bedroom here. Okay. And another 2 beds in here. And I think this is really nice. I think this, like, is one of the more ambitious things that I built, which, depending on... I swear there was a door here when we started this video. I'm going to have to go back and look at that. Oh, hey, another one of my provision bots. Who are you, buddy? Mackerel. Oh, that's a good one. Interesting. I made a lot of the provisions fly. I apologize if it ever seems like I barely remember what I'm on about. In many cases, it's because I barely remember what I'm on about. Oh, and lovely. And I put a little staircase for here to get around to the front. So yeah, let's get a nice view of it, because this is one of the ones that I'm really proud of. It isn't the most exotic, but I think it's one of the more ambitious builds, and it's one of the ones where I really started with an idea, and I was able to actually execute that idea to a degree that I am very satisfied with. I just think it's neat. So, thank you very much for listening, and end transmission.